Have you ever wondered why you believe what you believe? Not just the big questions about the universe or life's meaning, but the little things too. Those everyday rituals and habits that seem to guide us almost automatically. Why do we knock on wood or avoid walking under ladders, even when we know it's just superstition? These small actions are more than quirks. They're windows into the deep roots of human belief. These habits are echoes of our ancestors, shaping our lives in ways we rarely question. Passed down through generations, they become part of our identity, woven into the fabric of our daily routines. Our journey begins deep in the past, when humanity faced a chaotic, unpredictable world. Imagine living in a time when every shadow or storm could mean danger, and the unknown was everywhere. Without science or technology, our ancestors sought control and meaning, forging beliefs to make sense of storms, disease, and fate. These beliefs offered comfort, a sense of order, and sometimes even hope. This need to find patterns is the engine of belief, driving us to connect stars into constellations and invent stories for the sun and seasons. Our minds are wired to search for meaning even in randomness. These beliefs weren't ignorance, they were our first models for understanding the world. Through stories and myths, we explained the unexplainable and passed on wisdom. They became the first draft of the human story, a living record of our hopes, fears, and imagination. We'll explore how these ideas, from superstitions to creation myths, shaped societies and still influence us today, guiding our choices and connecting us to our past. Even now, in our technological age, ancient programs run in the background of our minds. The echoes of old beliefs still shape our reactions, our fears, and our dreams. The architects of belief are still at work, their tools more sophisticated than ever. As we move forward, understanding why we believe is the first step to understanding ourselves. Picture our early ancestors huddled around a flickering fire, their faces lit by the warm glow as darkness pressed in from all sides. They were surrounded by mystery and danger, the unknown lurking just beyond the reach of the light, predators, storms, and the unexplained. The human brain, a remarkable pattern-matching machine, began to connect events for survival, always searching for meaning in chaos. Imagine a hunter who wears a stone and succeeds in the hunt. Suddenly, the stone becomes a lucky charm, a talisman against failure. This is the birth of superstition, simple cause and effect, repeated and passed down through generations, growing into tradition. Chants before journeys, rituals for planting, avoiding unlucky places. These were early attempts to control fate, to tip the odds in their favor. They looked to the stars, the wind, and the flight of birds, searching for signs and omens in the world around them. They weren't foolish. These were survival strategies, humanity's first user's manual for the universe, written in actions and beliefs. If A led to B, you repeated A, hoping for the same result, building a sense of control over the unpredictable. If C led to disaster, you avoided C, learning from fear and misfortune, shaping behavior to avoid danger. These beliefs, based on correlation rather than causation, became the building blocks of culture woven into daily life. Passed from parent to child, they were essential wisdom, not scientific fact, but practical knowledge for survival. Don't whistle at night. It calls spirits, they'd say, warning each other of unseen dangers. Spill salt? Throw some over your shoulder, a small act to ward off bad luck just in case. These were more than sayings. They were algorithms for navigating a world of invisible forces, a way to make sense of uncertainty. The first lines of code, written to program human behavior for safety and prosperity, encoded in stories and customs. Superstition was our first technology for managing the unknown, a bridge between fear and understanding, and the foundation of our shared human story. Our brains are wired to find patterns, even when none exist. This instinct is so deeply rooted that it shapes the way we see the world, coloring our experiences and beliefs from the moment we're born. We look for order in the clouds, faces in the shadows, and meaning in the random events that fill our lives. This skill helped us survive, alerting us to danger and opportunity, but it also led us to see meaning in randomness. Our ancestors relied on this ability to make sense of a world that often seemed unpredictable and dangerous. Ancient farmers, desperate for rain, noticed birds or rituals before a good harvest and clung to those connections. They believed that repeating certain actions could influence the weather or the fate of their crops, even if the link was only imagined. Rituals were born: repeat the dance, hope for rain. These ceremonies became traditions, passed down through generations, each one adding new layers of meaning and hope. If it worked, belief grew. If not, the ritual was blamed, not the idea. The cycle continued, reinforcing the power of belief over evidence. Complex superstitions evolved from simple observations, rarely questioned, only refined. Over time, these beliefs became woven into the fabric of culture and identity. This isn't just ancient history, it's alive today. Our modern world is still filled with rituals and superstitions, echoing the hopes and fears of our ancestors. Sports fans wear lucky jerseys, gamblers blow on dice, and people everywhere invent small rituals to sway fate, all seeking control over chaos, hoping that a small act might tip the odds in their favor, even when logic says otherwise. We're still pattern-seeking creatures, trying to bend the universe in our favor. Our need for meaning drives us to connect the dots, even when the picture isn't really there. Our tools have changed, but the impulse remains. Technology gives us new ways to search for order, but the desire is as old as humanity itself. We write our own code, hoping for a little order in the randomness. Algorithms and data become our modern rituals, promising control over uncertainty. The search for meaning is timeless. Whether through science, philosophy, or tradition, we keep asking the same questions, generation after generation. Our minds are both our greatest asset and our greatest vulnerability, forever seeking patterns, forever searching for meaning in a random cosmos. As societies grew, so did our beliefs. Simple superstitions wove into grand myths. Myths became the operating systems of culture, answering life's biggest questions. Around the campfire, stories of lucky stones became tales of gods, heroes, and cosmic battles. Myths weren't just stories, they encoded history, values, and laws in memorable narratives. A trickster god's punishment taught community, a hero's journey explained death. Myths united people, creating shared identity and understanding. The night sky became a canvas for these stories. Every culture saw its own myths in the stars. Greeks saw heroes, Egyptians saw gods, Maya saw cosmic games. The stars became characters in a celestial drama, reminding us of our place in the universe. Through myth, the cosmos became a home filled with meaning. Stories gave life purpose and made the unknown familiar. Myths didn't just explain the past, they prescribed how to live in the present. They laid out moral and social order, turning rules into sacred duties. Creation myths often told of gods battling chaos, reinforcing the need for order in society. Defying tradition was equated with siding with monsters. Myths explained natural events in ways that reinforced social hierarchies. Priests and shamans, interpreters of the gods, gained immense power. The universe was alive with intention, sun as god, wind as spirit. People could pray, make offerings, and live by cosmic rules. Myths made the world relatable, giving humanity a sense of agency and belonging. As tribes became empires, belief became a tool for control. Kings and priests realized that ideas, not iron, were the strongest chains. Claiming divine right, rulers made obedience a spiritual duty. Rebellion became a sin, not just a crime. Grand temples and rituals reinforced the message. The gods ordained the social order. The system was self-reinforcing. Priests and kings supported each other's power. Myths and rituals, once for understanding, now managed empires. Belief became the machinery of civilization. Take ancient Egypt. Its stability rested on belief. The pharaoh was a living god, his divinity the foundation of society. The Nile's floods were seen as proof of his cosmic connection. This belief justified massive state projects like the pyramids, spiritual technology for the afterlife and national stability. Workers saw themselves as part of a sacred mission, not just laborers. Religion and state fused, creating a cohesive society where everyone knew their place. Questioning the pharaoh's divinity was unthinkable. Egypt's belief system endured for millennia, shaping a civilization. In our scientific age, you might think we've outgrown belief manipulation, but the architects of belief have simply updated their tools. Myths are now crafted from pixels and sound bites. Information is power, and controlling it shapes societies. Governments and corporations use PR, advertising, and propaganda to craft modern myths. These narratives bypass reason, appealing to emotion and tribal instincts. Social media algorithms create echo chambers, reinforcing beliefs and filtering out dissent. Misinformation spreads rapidly, fracturing our shared reality. Where ancient myths united, digital myths divide us into warring tribes. We're still pattern seekers, but now the patterns are fed to us by algorithms. The tools have changed, but the game remains the same. Are we doomed to be puppets of ancient superstitions and modern algorithms? Not at all. The same brain that falls for false patterns is also our greatest tool for discovery. The antidote is critical thinking, the foundation of science. Science is a toolkit for testing ideas, demanding evidence, and questioning assumptions. It's for everyone, a survival skill for the modern world. We must be skeptical, especially of information that confirms our biases. Ask for evidence, consider alternatives, and be willing to change your mind. This takes effort, humility, and courage. Our journey has been long, guided and misguided by belief. But we're not prisoners of our programming. We can become architects of our own understanding. The cosmos awaits, full of wonders. The greatest adventure is exploring the universe within. Let's be brave enough to explore our own minds.